Okay, guys, so part two of having sex on semen preservation. So, like I was saying in part one, the only way you can fucking have sex and be successful with not coming is if you go into it with the thought that I'm not gonna come. And that is hard as fuck to do, man. That's hard as fuck to do. Especially if you've been sexually active before. Like, and you've got some experience, like you fucked, let's just say 1,000 times. Not even 1,000. Let's just say you've had sex 100 times in your life. And each time you've had sex, you've came. Like it's gonna be hard for you to just all of a sudden, not only are you just gonna retain the semen, because that's a huge step to just go from like, orgasm or ejaculating on a regular basis and then all of a sudden you just stop. That's already a huge step. But then when you try to mix it in and like get the best of both worlds and you're saying, okay, I'm gonna have sex, but I'm not gonna come. That is one of the hardest things to do, man, because you're like, it's like you're cheating the system. It's like those two things usually don't mix. It's, usually it's kind of like, yeah, you can have sex all the time and just, you're just gonna be busting nuts all the time. That's just the name of the game. You're gonna be losing your energy, but it is what it is. Or you can go completely celibate. Like, for example, a lot of fighters go celibate before their fights. So Muhammad Ali used to refrain from sex a few months before a fight. Royce Gracie, Mike Tyson went 5 years without sex. And there's many more that I can name. And, there's a lot of inventors and there's a lot of great people who refrain from sex. I think Steve Jobs actually did that a little bit. Napoleon Hill talked about it, but all of those people that refrained from sex and were celibate, they were celibate. They weren't having sex and just not coming. Like they didn't try to mix the two. But when you mix the two and you fully master it, because you got to be careful with it. Because if you have sex on semen retention and you don't do the meditation practices, you don't transmute that sexual energy, it's gonna feel like you just had an edging session. And you can only do that so long before you just fucking explode, before you blow. You know what I'm saying? So you have, it's not as bad as edging and it's not really the exact same thing, but just as far as the sensitivity and just building up all that sexual energy like in your pelvic region, it's kind of the same thing. So you got to be careful with it. But if you fully master it and you get all of those meditation breathing practices down and you learn how to actually feel the energy and visualize the energy, you close your eyes and you visualize all the energy and you watch it come up to your head space and around the chest and everything, mostly your head though, like you get all of the benefits. But you can only do that if you, like I said, you approach it and say, I'm not gonna come. But that is so hard to do because we're like genetically, like I always say, whether or not you believe in God, evolution, no matter what you believe in, we're designed to procreate. We're designed to reproduce. And the only way to reproduce, of course, is to have sex. So we're supposed to have sex and ejaculate inside a woman. That's why it feels so good when you're about to come, because you're not supposed to pull out. Pulling out is unnatural. That's why it says in the Bible that in the Old Testament, it says it's better to, basically it says it's better to come inside of a whore than to spill your seed on the ground. Like pulling out is just one of the most unnatural things you can do. And that's why masturbation is such a bad thing. It's according to the Bible and many other religious and spiritual practices, is because your semen is the power to create. It has the power to create a human being, and you just put it in a sock or in the toilet or on some girl's face that you don't even really care about. Like that's really, really backwards. But like I said, we've been indoctrinated to every time you get some sort of pleasure, whether it be masturbation, whether it be sex, oral sex, anal sex, whatever, you're supposed to come at the end of it. That's kind of like how you dictate when the ending of that session is. So it's going to be hard for you. And not only is it something that lies within us genetically, but it's also something that we've been indoctrinated to believe because, like I know the first time I watched porn, I was 8 years old. Sorry, guys, I thought I heard something. But I know the first time I watched porn, I was like 8 years old. And then I didn't watch it again until I was like 12. But I'm 20 years old now. So for fucking over 12 years, I've been seeing guys fuck girls and come. And then I've been sexually active since I was 15. So for over 5 years, I've fucked girls and always ended it with an orgasm. So, and a lot of you guys are a lot older than me. I got people to comment on my videos. I'm 37, I'm 38. I remember a long time ago, this one guy was like, I'm 58. And I was like, God damn. So when you've been going all of that time and you've always came or at least tried to come, because things happen, the girl has to stop, you got to stop, somebody comes home, things like that happen. But for the most part, 99.999% of the time, if you're having sex and you're coming, like all of a sudden, if you just want to cut that off, it's hard to teach yourself that. And it's really hard to actually just tell yourself, I'm gonna have sex and I'm not gonna orgasm. Like that's just such a backwards way of thinking. But like I said, to master it, you got to get those breathing practices down, and I may show you guys exactly what I mean. But you got to get those breathing practices down. After you have sex for however long, you gotta draw that energy up and visualize it for like 5, 10, optimally like 15, 20 minutes. Like you just gotta get all that energy up there. You got to keep all your muscles relaxed because, when you get tense, you curl your feet when you're about to come because, the whole time it's like you're building up tension. And like, that last minute you're curling up your feet and your shoulders are shrugged up and biting your teeth and all of that. Like you got to learn how to keep your entire body relaxed. You got to keep your mind relaxed. It's a complex thing, man. It's a complex thing. And then just besides that, a lot of guys struggle with premature ejaculation, which was never my reality, but you don't want to just fuck for 5 minutes. So a lot of guys, what they would do is, they would get that first nut off and then they would go again. But obviously you can't get that first nut off if you're doing semen retention. So you got to learn how to keep everything relaxed and not fucking blow before you want to. So you got to have your breathing down when you're having sex. You got to know your own body. You got to know what you can do, what you can't do, and how long and how hard. Like it's a very intricate process, man. It's very meticulous. All of these steps have to be in order. And then, like I said, if you don't get those breathing practices down, you're gonna you'll be okay like the first time, and then you may fuck again, but eventually it's gonna catch up to you, man, because you're just building up all that sexual energy down there, like literally, like when you're like horny and you can just literally feel the energy. Like a lot of people talk about energy and it sounds like hippie nonsense, but energy is real. Like you can feel the energy down there. And if you don't meditate and get rid of all that energy through exercise, through meditation, through breathing practices, through mental visualization, it's basically just like edging. Maybe even more tempting than edging, because at least with edging like to porn or something, you can just you could just go outside or you could just turn the porn off. But like when you got that girl right there, man, and she's like, you're just fucking her and you're looking at that ass, you're looking at those titties, that pretty ass face and everything. She's moaning and groaning and shit. She's doing stuff with her mouth that you didn't even know was humanly possible on you. It's gonna be hard, man. You got all that sexual energy built up, and maybe you're a guy that already kind of struggled with premature ejaculation. You're not gonna be successful with it, man. You gotta get all those breathing practices down. And I know me, like before I have sex with semen retention, I gotta get my mind right. Like, I gotta plan this shit out. Like, so, like, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. I'll say something like, of course, spontaneous things can happen, but like, I'll like meet a girl on a Friday and, or no, today's Tuesday, and I'll say, let's meet on Friday. That's 3 days from now. And then like Thursday, I get my mind right. So on Thursday, I get rid of all my sexual energy. I drain myself because I know it's going to be through the roof. It's already going to be through the roof because I'm practicing semen retention. But then I'm fucking this beautiful girl and, she's going to be into it. And then I've had a lot of girls, man, like, it's like they don't even realize it. But even if they want you to succeed on semen retention, they're going to try to get you to come. Like, if you start moaning and shit and they can tell you're close, they're going to keep on going, man. They're going to tell you to come and everything. So I got to be prepared. So all of Thursday, I'm getting my mind right. And then Friday, like before I walk in the door, before she comes in or whatever, I'm meditating, I'm breathing, I'm getting everything set. And then during the act, I'm still doing my thing for however long, an hour and a half, 2 hours. But I'm breathing, I'm visualizing myself, I'm keeping my energy in my stomach instead of right down by my pelvis, preferably even my head. And it's a very intricate process. And then after the act is done, you know, if you don't want to do it in front of her, whatever, and you don't have to do it immediately, you can lay down for like 10, 15, 20 minutes with her. But before, I would say within the hour, you need to excuse yourself to the bathroom, do it right there, do it in the car ride home, do it after she leaves, whatever. But you need to like really sit down and breathe. Doing it inside of a shower really helps. If you do it inside of a cold shower, or even a contrast shower, hot, cold, maybe 2 minutes each, 1 minute each. It doesn't really matter, but just hot, cold, because that's going to really help you dispel the energy, man. And like I said, preferably you want to get it into your head and chest region around here. But even if it goes down to your feet, man, you just want to get it out that area. So you go in the shower, you start breathing, you start visualizing, you get that shit out of your pelvic region, man. And afterwards, you'll just feel like you'll already be feeling good. But then after even that, you'll just feel like, because like I said, it's just like I've mastered sex. Most motherfuckers don't even get pussy. And I'm not talking shit to anybody. I'm just saying this is going to be you once you master this shit and you heed my lessons. But I fucked this beautiful girl. She was beautiful. I took her to fucking an orgasmic heaven. I made her come mentally, physically, all of that shit. And she's going to be bragging about me to her friends because I just fucked her for 2 hours. Well, you know what I'm saying? I didn't just fuck her for 2 hours. I fucked her ass well. You know what I'm saying? Fucked the shit out of her. It was 2 hours, so, you know, that's another bonus. Like, you pat yourself on the back, man. I went 2 whole hours of fucking the shit out. And then I didn't come. Like, when you just really think about that, man, I fucked the shit out this girl, and I didn't even fucking come. And this wasn't no fucking vagabond, scallywag looking girl, man. This girl was fucking beautiful. She looked like she fucking, you know, she looked good. She was a 7, an 8, 9, hell, even a 10, a dime piece. And she was working all her moves. She was doing everything she could. I was doing everything I could. But I'm in such control. I'm such a fucking alpha male god. I'm such an angel. I like saying an angel. I used to say I'm like a god, but yeah, that's it's kind of like a fine line. But I'm just like an angel. I'm like a master of the universe. You know what I'm saying? You guys ever seen Devil's Advocate? He was like, would you ever know that I'm Al Pacino? He said, would you imagine that I'm a master of the universe? And that's what you are, man. And that fucking girl, like if you fuck the shit out of a girl, she's going to call you back. Majority of the time. Some girls are weird. They might not talk to you. So girls now are in a different breed, man. Girls hit it and quit it now too. But most likely, if you fuck the hell out of her, she's gonna call you back later on or text you, whatever. But when you fuck the shit out of her for 2 hours and you didn't even come, like the amount of respect she's gonna have for you, and maybe subconsciously, but whether it's consciously, subconsciously, the amount of fucking respect she's gonna have for you is just gonna be out of this world. Because it's just like, how did he do that? Most girls can't get fucked for an hour or 2 hours straight. A lot of people be saying 2 hours, but you track the time, it was really 30 minutes. Y'all did an hour of kissing and shit, and you really fucked for 30 minutes. Or you really did do 2 hours, but you took like fucking 4 rounds and shit. That shit don't count. I mean, it does count, but when you just fuck her ass for 2 hours, and then your cardio is right, like motherfucker like me, I'm not gonna get tired. So you fucked her ass for like 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, just marathon sex. And the longest break you would take was like 2 minutes just to get some water, maybe use the bathroom. And you didn't even come. It's just like, wow, this motherfucker is just in such control. Like, she's not even going to be able to believe it. And like I said, after you get past that hour mark, she's just going to be like in jelly, man. She's just going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's just going to be shaking. And people who have done this know what I'm talking about. And you can do this without practicing semen retention, but when you do it with semen retention, it bumps you up to the next level. Bumps you up like 3 levels. So, yeah, man, I could go on and on, but it's going to get pretty redundant at one point, at a certain point. But make sure if you're going to do this, get your breathing practices right. And you know what? I was going to tell you guys to do something, but I don't even want to tempt you guys. But yeah, get your breathing practices right. Practice safe sex. I've made many videos about that. Put your condoms on, man. Practice safe sex. Don't, You know, that's a whole nother topic, but practice safe sex and just fucking ravish that girl, man. And get a girl that you're actually attracted to. Don't just fuck. The whole point of doing, well, not the whole point, but one of the main benefits that you receive from doing semen retention is getting out of this animalistic mindset. So don't fuck some girl just because she wants to fuck you. Like, unless you're genuinely attracted to her and you could look at her before and after an orgasm and still think she's just as attractive, don't fuck any girl that doesn't meet that criteria. Don't fuck girls who are really just a 5, maybe even a 3 or 4, but oh, she just got a fat ass. Don't do that, man. Or don't fuck a girl who she's just a 3 or 4 and doesn't have a body, but you're just gonna fuck her. Why? Because you just want to bust a nut. Don't do that, man. But find a beautiful girl, practice safe sex, and do what I say, and just, I promise you, man, you'll feel amazing. You'll just have the most miraculous feeling ever. So I appreciate you guys watching as always. Leave a comment down below. Peace.